Are flyers overpowered?
No, unless they're Necrons. No.
Some aren't, but do you know what I mean? Overall they're good fun, make it change.
With the inclusion of the new Fall Drill stuff in tournaments like this, I think there's a lot more things that can counter them. So I think they are fairly balanced with that in mind.
No.
Yes, at present. No, when new stuff comes out, I can take them out.
I think they're massively overpowered.
Yes, at the moment. But I think as you start to see greater acceptance of the Forge World stuff and the anti-flyer opportunities that presents, and as the newer Sickhead codexes come in, and the sort of anti-flyer firepower that they will bring, I think it'll balance out.
They are a difficulty to deal with if you haven't got the right things.
Here now with Lee Brown, the treasurer of Brighton Warlords, and we're going to talk a little bit about the army he's brought today. Unfortunately, he had a round 1 bye, so he's not been able to play the first round, so I'm just going to take this opportunity to quickly to have a little chat with him about the Blood Angels and Grey Knights that he's brought today. So, Lee.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
If you could just talk through what you have and just discuss a little bit about some of the choices, why you've taken, for example, 4 Storm Ravens over other units that you had the choice over.
Okay, starting from the top, I took Mephiston as a HQ. Looking at the options that I had for commanders of the army, I wanted someone that could do something rather than sit at the back and just go reroll successful saves or shoot. Yep. They were very minuscule. So I took Mephiston because he's pretty much, he's disgusting. He's an all-round badass, I would say. Yes. Yes, it's quite nice, quite expensive. Then I went on to a Tech Marine. It allows me to bolster a building, meaning that when my Storm Ravens do arrive, they can hide behind cover, getting a better save than if they jink. If they jink, they lose the ability to shoot very well. Buy them as a gunship, you want them to be able to shoot. I've taken a Sanguinary High Priest. Allows me to, gives every unit within 6 feel no pain. So Mephiston now has a 2-up armour, a 5-up feel no pain, or a 5-up feel no pain to everything, so nothing will instantly kill him. So it's almost like giving him an invulnerable save.
And he's able to keep up with Mephiston as he flies about and does stuff?
No.
So how
as long as he survives the initial onslaught of someone shooting him, he can then go out and kick the life out of the unit that he's fighting against.
No, that makes sense, that's good.
Yeah, okay. Then I went on to 2 units of 10 snipers, scout snipers, cheap, good cover save behind, in any building that they take, because it's bolstered, so it's a 3-up cover save. They can also pick out squad leaders, guys with power fists that might cause issues to Mephiston before he goes in. And I need some troops, basically, 2 troops. Then I've gone on to 3 Storm Ravens. They're all set up exactly the same. They've all got a las cannon, they've all got a multi-melter, they've all got hurricane bolters, and then they've got 4 bloodstrike missiles. I've taken an Aegis defence line with a comms relay to get the units arriving as soon as possible. Turn 2, 3-ups, reroll. Then I go on to my allied contingent, which would be Coaches. Good because he makes inquisitorial retinues troops rather than elites. And then I've taken 8 guys as his retinue, 3 with heavy bolters, 3 with bolt guns, a Psyker and a Banisher. And then I've got another Storm Raven, same with a 4. That Storm Raven's got Hurricane Bolters, Assault Cannon, Multi-Melter, Mind Strikes, which are anti-Psyker missiles, and Psi-Ammo.
It's all about the shooting phase and doing as much damage at range. It's a bit unusual for Blood Angels because obviously, people think Blood Angels, you think a bit more sort of close combat, and they've got all the furious charge potential and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're right in that sense. I mean, Blood Angels were first initially known as, an assault-based army. I played a tournament here probably at the start of the year where I had 3 Storm Ravens, Death Company set up like that, amble in, kill something. The return fire that you get, because everyone takes special weapons to take out tanks, armour, will just annihilate the units. So they'll get 1 good charge, they might not kill everything they want to kill, and then they get wiped out.
It does certainly seem that 6th is favouring the shooty sort of lists now. Is there any aspect of the new rules that you find is a bit overpowered, or is it negative in the way that it sort of favours the shooting armies?
I think it is quite negative in the way that, as you say, it now favours a shooting-based army because, there were some really nice combat-based armies. You had Death Stars, as they used to call them, and now they're not so good. I think there's still a place for them because different codexes, you can get different armies. but I enjoy using the Ravens.
So with regards to combat now then, is it all about Terminators with Thunderhammer's Storm Shield?
I don't think so. I think they're really good for what they can do, but I think if you hit them with enough guns, they'll go down.
What are your thoughts on the GTs now in general?
After I play my first game, I'll let you know.
Thanks very much for chatting to me, Lee. Good luck in the oncoming rounds. Obviously you had your bye, but hopefully you'll get some actual wins and do very well.
No worries. Wicked.
Excellent. Thank you. Cheers.
Right, that's it. Time. Round has ended. Get results as soon as you can, please.
Okay, it's the end of round one. We just caught up with Mike and John again at the end of their game, and just thought I'd see how it all went.
Yeah, really impressive game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Hats off to my opponent, John. I mean, he played it the way it should have been played. The tactics I said about, obviously, slightly earlier, nearly come to fruition that time. 2 Storm Ravens, Courtiers, a couple of Grey Knights. Luckily didn't kill off a couple of plague bearers. Yeah. Otherwise, it could have made the difference. But no, absolutely thoroughly enjoyed the game.
So it came down to the last 2 plague bearers on the third objective, and that's what swung it for you.
Absolutely, yeah. The advantage swung in my favour early game with a tally going up, but Mike put a brilliant fight back, wiped out lots of units, and it came down literally to a turn of Mike trying to rinse some plague bearers off an objective. 2 were left standing, and unfortunately that's when the game timed out on 5 turns, so I managed to take the objective and therefore take the game as well. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, good luck with your next game, guys, and thanks for talking to us.
The round's officially going to start now.
Here with James now, and I'm going to chat with him a little bit about the Tyranids that he's brought with us today. So tell us about the army and some of the choices you've made in the composition.
Okay, well I've kind of gone for like a flying kind of theme. Got 2 flying hive tyrants, 2 harpies, a big flock of gargoyles, and then to back it up I've got some troop choices, so 2 tervigons as standard really, 2 units of tervigants to make them scoring, and finally 3 units of hive guard just to round the army off, some anti-tank shooting.
Excellent. I noticed you're playing against a flyer-heavy sort of list. How does this list you've brought stand up to the flyers in general in the game? Because I know that the Tyranids are a bit stretched with their sort of answers to flyers at the moment.
Yeah, against armor 11 flyers or below, you're okay because the flying hive tyrants have got strength 6 guns, so they can do okay. But the armor 12 flyers are really hard to knock down. The hive guard can do damage, but they've got to roll 6 to hit, so it's hard to get. It is difficult to deal with.
Are you enjoying the army, how it all works, or is it a bit of a struggle?
No, I've been playing Nids for quite a while, since the book came out, about nearly 3 years ago now. I used to play a very different type of army in 5th edition. I mean, my old list used to just be all really slow and just plod across the table and just try and grind people out. Whereas this army's much quicker, because the flying stuff is quite quick, but it's also hasn't got a lot of armor saves, so if your opponent's got other anti-flyers, then it does a lot of damage to them. On 1 turn of shooting, I lost 1.5 tyrants, basically, so it's pretty nasty. I've been abusing this rule for a while now. It is quite contentious, I agree. Basically, one of the rulings is that we have a flying monstrous creature. Because they're like infantry now, you can claim cover saves if you're in area terrain or if you're in buildings. But there's a contention that it doesn't say anything about if you're flying high. It doesn't say that you can't still claim cover saves, even though obviously you'd be flying above it.
I can see how that might be a bit difficult to swallow for some opponents in a tournament setting, at least. That's fair game, I'd say. Do you think Tyranids, though, have got a bit of a hard job with 6th edition, the way things sort of going towards other armies?
They've got much better because having everything fearless is really good. Now, before, you would charge something and you'd lose everything to combat res, but now you can throw gaunts in and you don't really care because it takes so long to grind through them. I think they can compete now, which is good.
Right, fantastic. Thanks for chatting, and good luck with the rest of the game.
Thank you very much.
Are allies a good thing in 6th edition?
They're a good thing because it means you get to play with another race which you think is actually quite good. You can get some quite weird combinations, like the fact that Necrons can ally with so many people. I don't think that's what Necrons would be able to do.
I think everybody's worried about like really good combinations, but I think it's improved the game.
Yeah, I like them. I think it just brings variety. For now, I think it's quite exciting. It's quite good. Yeah.
Yes. Every army is a lot more diverse now. armies that had weaknesses can be made up for by taking in other things, like Tau with Eldrad. They needed something like that Eldrad, and now they can. Me, I've got Kotias, because Grey Knight's always good friends with Necrons, everyone knows that. Yeah, I think it adds another dimension to the game, so why not?
Yes. They just add a bit of balance and variety.
Okay, it's the end of round 2 now, and I'm here with Rich Fielder. I'm going to get you to talk a bit about your blog.
Okay, basically our blog at the moment is quite sort of simple because it's the beginning of 6th edition. We've basically just been running through the basic ideas of sort of armies changing from 5th to 6th edition. We also talk about tactics for different armies, tournaments that are upcoming, and we've also got sort of blogs on painting, which is one that I run, which is on sort of the painting of my army and what's sort of going on with that, my thought process, things like that. 'Cause my army is a bit weird and wonderful, as you've probably seen.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to talk about that in a bit. So what, you do like work in progress logs of what you've done?
Yeah, it'll be like work in progress, models that I've finished, tell people if I'm putting things up on Cool Mini or not so they can go and vote, give me feedback basically, because I mean, we always, as a painter, you always just want to get better, so if people can give you feedback and things like that, and it's also nice sometimes to get a few compliments. So the blog's set up by sort of me and some of my friends, which basically we've been playing tournaments probably for about 10 years now, on and off, so basically it's just we thought it was time to sort of share some of our experiences, and we think we're not too bad, so we thought we'd share some of that with everyone else. That's good. So.
If we could talk about your army now, just run us through sort of what it's all about.
Basically, it's a Necron army. The idea behind it is that it's Dark Mechanicum, which is like a sect of the Adeptus Mechanicus that broke off during the Horus Heresy, exploiting demons. A lot of stuff that's in the New Chaos Codex basically is that sort of thing, but that wasn't around when I started doing it, so it gives me some more options to go forward with basically. But yeah, Necron basis to the army. Got Destroyer Lord, Normal Lord, some Cryptex which are like the Tech Priests basically. And then I've got 2 units of Wraiths, a unit of Scarabs, a big unit of 20 Necron Warriors, because I feel that really, and they're sort of plague zombies, so they're like the guys who are the jobbers. They build everything for these crazy Tech Priest dudes. I've then got 2 Annihilation Barges, and a Monolith, and a couple of Flyers, Night Scythes with Immortals in them, so that's the whole army basically. The Monolith itself is sort of a bit weird and wonderful. It's a Greater Demon and Nurgle, one of the Forge Rod ones, which has all been converted up to sort of quite techy, and mounted on sort of his own sort of scrap throne basically, so that he sort of wobbles around on it, trying to collect more bits for the collection really. One of the Wraith units is Ogres, basically Ogrins, sort of tech Ogrins, so they did the heavy lifting for the army. And then you've got the other unit, which is made out of, again, they're supposed to be sort of demons who sort of help build things. So that's the majority of what's really in the army.
Is it performing well with the Necron Codex?
Yeah, it's working well so far. My first game, I've got to say, a bit of luck. I think we sort of ran out of time, and I sort of lucked the win. But my second game, I only had 1 model left, so pretty good performance there. So 2 wins. So I've got to say it's working well, but I think Necrons are a bit cheesy. So
thanks very much for chatting to us, and good luck with the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Back now with John after round 2. Hasn't won his last game. The second game he just played against a Necron flyer heavy list. Yep. Was it Night Scythes? He's got lots of
3 Night Scythes, 3 Doom Scythes. Yeah, so 6 flyers.
6 flyers.
Yeah.
Now, on the face of it, that seems like something that your army would struggle against.
Yeah. And it is absolutely, yeah.
Certain armies like Tyranids, like the Demons, they access that other armies do to like the batteries and the interceptor stuff. So do you think that really hampers the Demons in a general sense? Not just your army, but like do you think that 6th edition, the way things are now, is it really a bit of an uphill struggle for Demons in that sense?
Yeah, I think it has. I mean, Flyers obviously have changed the shift of the game quite a lot. You've got this whole extra level of the game to think about now, and what you tend to see in most games of 40k is, in the first few turns, there's a battle for the skies, and once someone's won that battle, through either anti-air, through their own aircraft, then they go on to kind of fly around and mow down everybody from above. So with this army, and maybe with Tyranids as well, and other armies who are very short up, Space Wolves maybe as well, with the answer for Flyers, they've got to do as best as they could, but it's very, very difficult. So with the Monogre boys, as I said, I took the option of just totally ignoring Flyers and playing as if they're not there and just taking it about.
So with the GTs sort of resurging, do you think that soft scores and WYSIWYG and comps are a good thing or a bad thing? How far do you think that should affect one's tournament score in a competitive tournament?
Sure, that's a massive umbrella question there. I personally like going to a variety of tournaments who tackle that in different ways. I think, in short, there is no answer to comp. Some people like it. It depends on the reason why people play the game. Some people play the game purely for the tactics and the glory of victory. Some people play because they like painted models, beautiful armies. So I think having a range of tournaments with different comp measurements and restrictions allows people to choose what they want to go to and what they want to experience. So 5-6 years ago, I was quite a kind of die-hard tournament goer. I loved hard armies, playing as hard as I could. These days, I like the softer, fluffier games, and so I'm all for comp, I'm all for soft scores, and I like the fact that soft scores generally improve the quality of the armies that you see, and I like going to a tournament and seeing good quality armies rather than just dry-brushed or undercoated figures desperate to win.
Excellent. And with regards to the comps of the GT and the heat today, are you fairly happy with how it's all sort of running and the way the committee sort of have shaped the heats to what they are now?
Absolutely. It's like a return to the glory days of the Games Workshop GT when it was good, before Throne of Skulls came along and kind of ruined it for a lot of hardcore kind of tournament goers, long-time tournament goers. So I like how it works with the heats. I love the fact that you've got some up north, some down south as well, so everyone in the country's got access to it. And I think it's a great system, and I hope that it kind of goes on for a long time as it is.
Brilliant, thanks for that, John, and good luck in the rest of the games.
Thank you.
Just playing the last few turns now. Part 2, we're going to see an ETC interview, exclusive. We're going to have a little chat with some members of Team England for the European Team Championships and a member of Team Wales, have a little talk about ETC, so don't miss that. That's going to be in part 2, along with more coverage, more spotlights on armies, more chats with people about 40k in general. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.